Hello everybody, this is I Play Gaia, or 808 Cash from eBay, and today I'm just going to make a quick, I won't lie, it's not really a quick video, but I'm just going to make a video on how to use the code Porcelain that you may have bought from my eBay or Etsy shop, okay? Now if you want to buy code Porcelain, I have two links below in the description. Go ahead, click on it, and have fun, okay? So first of all, let me just thank you if you did buy my code Porcelain. That's very awesome of you. So now you're probably wondering, okay, now I have this porcelain, what am I going to do with this? So here we go. This is an air dry, non-toxic clay, homemade by me. It does have a shelf life of, so far for me, 2 months. So as long as you keep this baby wrapped up tight in saran wrap or an airtight container, it'll last you a pretty long time. Whereas, other clays might start to dry or crack. I've noticed that this stays nice and pliable, nice and soft until I need to use it. So just remember now, when you keep it stored, if you don't keep it stored properly, it will dry out on you and you're just going to waste it, okay? And this thing will dry out fast. So when you're working, make sure you only take out what you need and keep the rest sealed, okay? Because what good is cold porcelain if it's rock hard? Next is, adding water. If you find that it starts to get dry as you work with it, just add a bit of water with your finger, go over the surface, and as long as you keep it moist and wet, you should be able to work with it for as long as you need to, okay? Now if you need to glue pieces together, normally you can just add water to both sides of whatever you want to join and stick it together, and then smooth it out and it'll stay. But if you need something stronger, a stronger hold, a stronger adhesive, you can go ahead and use crazy glue, super glue. I've never used hot glue. You can go ahead and try it if you want, but yeah, you can glue it if you need to. Also, for example, I have this TARDIS here that I made, and it's a hollow TARDIS, okay? This is hollow. I have a styrofoam base in here. And the reason why I did that was because if you use large chunks of cold porcelain, it's not going to dry properly, and chances are it's going to end up cracking when it dries or as it dries. So what you need to think about is using a base for larger projects. For example, if you're going to make the earth for like a school project, use a styrofoam ball and then cover it with cold porcelain, okay? Don't ever use large chunks of porcelain and expect it to come out great, okay? Drying time usually takes about 24 hours for it to dry, but after 2 days to maybe even 3 days, that's when it gets really, really, really hard, okay? So I would say if you're making anything like as a gift, allow at least 3 to 4 days for it to dry properly, okay? You don't want to give somebody something that may be hard on the outside but soft on the inside, okay? I will also go over coloring your porcelain. So you've got this porcelain, now you want to color it, right? So I use, Delta Thermocoat. It's an acrylic paint. I imagine you can use any brand you want as long as it's acrylic. And what I do is I take a chunk of whatever I'm going to use, small, large chunk, whatever. I roll it into a ball. Okay, so here I'll use this piece for example. I'll roll it into a ball, then I'll squish it in the middle. I'll put just a drop, okay, of the paint onto the porcelain, and then I'll just work it. Now, don't worry about it getting on your hands, because you'll notice that as you continue to roll it around and smush the clay together, you're going to notice that it's going to start picking up the color from your hands and from your fingers. Okay, of course it's not going to pick up everything, but it'll do a pretty good job, okay? So after you mix it together, depending on what color you have, just keep going, keep adding little drops of paint until you reach your desired color. However, make sure that you don't make it too dark. For example, this TARDIS, it needed to be a dark blue color, but I added a light blue to the cold porcelain and it was actually much lighter. But then I noticed that over the next 24 hours when it dried, the color turned really dark. So essentially it's the perfect color. It's just that when I colored it with the acrylic paint, it was a lighter color. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're adding color. Excuse me. And then yeah, after you color it, go ahead and use it however you want. Also keep in mind though that the more paint you add, the more potential this has for cracking. So try to only add what you need. Now of course, things I say aren't really set in stone. It's really up to you to experiment and discover for yourself what works for you, what doesn't, and what works for the porcelain and what doesn't work for the porcelain. Okay. That's about it. So if you have any more questions, any more concerns, suggestions, anything, go ahead and email me, post a comment. Any way you can get in touch with me, go ahead and do that, and I will answer your questions as soon as possible and to the best of my abilities. Okay? So again, thank you for buying my porcelain if you've bought it. If not, I recommend at least trying it, you know, just so that you can say, yeah, I tried it, and hey, if it becomes your favorite clay afterwards, that's awesome. Okay? I mean, I love it because it's air dry. I don't have to bake it. Oh yeah, that's right, one more thing. It does dry semi-translucent. Okay, not super translucent, but you can tell that it's not super solid in its color. But this is only for white, I noticed. For other colors, it won't really dry. You can't tell that it's drying translucent, but it's only for white. Or if you leave your porcelain uncolored, then yeah, it'll dry a bit translucent. Okay, but it does look kind of cool actually, so I rather like it when it's translucent. But that's just another thing you should keep in mind. Okay, so I think I'm done now. Remember, if you want to buy, click on the 2 links below in the description box, and if you make anything, I'd love to see it. So if you want to send me a message, whatever, with whatever you made, that would be really cool. Okay, so until next time, see you later.